There are many things we still don't know about this world, from creatures that don't seem to be of this world to puzzling Egyptian artifacts. Here are the 15 strangest things recently discovered. Number 15. The asteroid that will hit Earth in 2046. This sounds like doomsday news, but it's not as bad as it sounds, hopefully. The folks at NASA believe that an asteroid could hit our planet in 2046. Emphasis on the word could. NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office has been keeping a close eye on this particular asteroid, the 2023 DW. Data from the European Space Agency suggests that there is a 1 in 625 chance that this asteroid will make contact with Earth. On the other hand, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory's Sentry system offers a slightly different perspective, with a probability of 1 in 560. That's a very low probability. But the fact that there is even the slightest chance is terrifying to imagine. So far, it is the only celestial object tracked that has earned a spot on the Torino scale, which NASA uses to gauge potential space threats. But here's the silver lining. NASA is fairly confident that the likelihood of this asteroid causing a significant impact on our planet is minimal. But then again, there is a small chance that still makes it pretty scary, don't you think? So I guess if there is an asteroid on Valentine's Day 2046, we'd better try to make it worthwhile. Number 14. Zombie fires in the Arctic. The last thing one would expect to see in the frozen, barren wasteland of the Arctic region is fire. And yet, in this place, where the temperature plunges to degrees below zero, several zombie fires rise. Zombie fires, also known as remnant fires, are wildfires that continue to burn under snow and ice during the winter months. They burn underground, feeding on organic matter in the soil, only to resurface in the spring. As their name suggests, these fires refuse to die and die out. Now you may be wondering why these fires would be our concern. After all, they occur in a virtually uninhabited place. But you see, just because something happens on the other side of the planet doesn't mean it doesn't affect us. What's more, contrary to popular belief, the Arctic is actually home to nearly 4 million people today. They are all indigenous peoples who live by hunting and herding. Now, zombie fires release a ton of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And considering that the Arctic is already slowly warming due to the ever-changing climate, more carbon dioxide would be bad news. Zombie fires are also unpredictable. By the time we realize they are there, they could have spread over vast areas. And let's not forget about local communities. The indigenous people of the Arctic have a deep connection to the land, which they depend on for their daily lives. These fires can wreck their activities, affecting hunting and other things. Number 13. The killer hornets. In recent years, experts have been puzzled by the appearance of Asian killer hornets in the United States. I know their name sounds intimidating, but what are these creatures? Native to parts of Asia, these hornets are the largest in the world, with some queens reaching more than 5 centimeters in length. They have this ferocious name because of their ability to decimate entire hives of honeybees in a matter of hours. And while they don't go after humans, their sting can be excruciating and, on rare occasions, even deadly. If you are allergic to many things, a sting from this hornet can be lethal. In Asia, particularly in some regions of Japan, these creatures are known to be both a lethal threat and a delicious treat or delicacy. However, in the United States, these creatures cause many problems, not only to humans, but also to local ecosystems. In late 2019 and 2020, sightings of these hornets were confirmed in the state of Washington. It is still a mystery how they made the journey, but it is believed that they may have hitchhiked in international shipments. The concern here is not just for a painful sting, but for the potential impact on the local bee population. Bees play a crucial role in pollinating many of the crops we depend on, and a decline in their numbers could have ripple effects on agriculture. Efforts are underway to track and eradicate any nests found in the United States. So if you happen to see one, it's best to keep a safe distance and report the sighting to local authorities. Number 12. The Oumuamua. Let's now return to space and take a look at the most mysterious celestial visitor we've had to date, the Oumuamua. It all started in 2017, when astronomers spotted this elongated, cigar-shaped object whizzing through our solar system. Coming from a distant star system, Oumuamua is unique because it is the first known interstellar object to pass through our solar system. Its name, derived from Hawaiian, aptly means explorer or messenger from far away that arrives first now that it has briefly passed our planet. There is nothing alarming about that. However, experts have not been able to determine exactly what this thing is. It has an unusual shape. It has an unusual speed. You see, most asteroids or comets would show signs of slowing down, but this one whizzed past our planet with seemingly unlimited speed. And that's why many believe it may be being controlled by something or someone. Some speculate that it may be an extraterrestrial spacecraft. However, the consensus among scientists leans more towards the possibility that it is a natural, albeit unusual object. As of today, there is still no definitive conclusion as to what this celestial object is, so there is still the possibility that Oumuamua is something extraterrestrial. Number 11. The dimming of Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant star, one of the brightest stars in the constellation Orion. Because of its unique brightness and distinctive position, it has been a familiar sight to stargazers and astronomers for generations. So when something strange happened in late 2019, many noticed it immediately. For some strange reason, Betelgeuse began to dim noticeably. Now, stars are not static. They undergo various changes throughout their lives. But the rapid and significant dimming of Betelgeuse was out of the ordinary. No one could determine why the star began to dim dramatically. Some thought it might be a sign that Betelgeuse was about to go supernova, an explosive end that awaits many massive stars. Others speculated that vast clouds of dust were obscuring the star's light. Others, however, believed that the star's surface had simply cooled, causing it to dim. Recently, scientists seem to be favoring the latter theory. It is likely that the star cooled briefly after all. In recent years, Betelgeuse has slowly begun to regain its usual brightness. Hopefully, it will be a long time before it moves on to its next phase. Number 10. The lost continent of Zealandia. There are currently 7 known continents in the world. There are also those who claim there are 6, and there are also those who claim there are 5 continents. But most people agree that there are only 7 continents on Earth. And yet recently, there has been news about an 8th continent known as Zealandia. While the name may sound like something out of a fantasy novel, Zealandia has won the support of many over the years. With an area of nearly 5 million square kilometers, Zealandia resides in Southeast Asia, or at least what's left of it. It is mostly submerged in water, leading many to dub it the Lost Continent millions of years ago. Many believe that this continent was formed when our planet's plates shifted and shaped the planet's surface. Zealandia was once part of the supercontinent Gondwana and eventually sank beneath the ocean. It was only recently that we discovered its secrets. Although many still oppose the existence and classification of Zealandia as a continent, it is still fascinating to imagine that there is a possibility that an 8th continent exists. Think how drastic the landscape might look if this immense landmass had not been submerged beneath the waves. I wonder how that would have affected the culture and people existing today. Number 9. Microbial awakening 100 million years ago. Deep in the Pacific Ocean, in a region known as the South Pacific Gyre, scientists discovered microbes that have lain dormant for over 100 million years. In this part, known as the oceanic desert, are microorganisms that somehow managed to survive despite starving for millions of years. And guess what? Scientists revived them and brought them back to life. Sounds like the plot of a dystopian science fiction movie, right? Well, don't panic just yet. To obtain samples of these ancient microbes, researchers had to drill a staggering 19,000 feet deep into the ocean. Although these microbes had been dormant for so long in a place with almost no food, they awoke and multiplied rapidly when given the right conditions in the lab. These ancient microbes had survived in a kind of fasting state for millions of years. Trapped in sediment, their ability to come back to life and grow demonstrates just how resilient these microorganisms are. Now, it may seem like a bad idea to revive them, but believe me, there is no reason why we shouldn't do it. After all, these microbes aren't exactly harmful to humans. In fact, these creatures help us learn more about the limits of life at the bottom of our oceans. Number 8. Mice with infrared vision. Mice with infrared vision sounds like something you'd see in a comic book, right? Well, it has happened in real life. Recently, scientists experimented with mice and managed to create one with night vision. Mammals are usually limited in their ability to perceive a narrow range of wavelengths within the electromagnetic spectrum. However, a pioneering technique has been developed to extend this range. Scientists from the United States and China successfully conducted an experiment in which nanoparticles were introduced into the eyes of mice. These tiny particles were designed to capture infrared light and convert it into wavelengths that the mice could see. To do this, they fitted the mice with biological night vision goggles. To confirm the efficacy of the technique in rodents, the scientists conducted several experiments. In one test, the mice were given the choice of entering a completely dark box or one illuminated only with controlled converted infrared light. The mice showed no preference, as both boxes appeared dark to them. In contrast, the mice that objected to the treatment clearly opted for the dark box, showing that their vision had been extended beyond the usual spectrum. So, in essence, the scientists biologically modified the mice to turn them into supermice. With the data obtained from this experiment, there could come a time in the future when soldiers and rescuers won't need cameras or night vision goggles. Or we could potentially help law enforcement by creating specialized superdogs with enhanced night vision. What if we could bioengineer them all? But of course, this field is still far from being refined. Number 7. UFO report. Earlier this year, conspiracy theorists were in for a real treat, as the U.S. office issued a statement in which it reported in detail hundreds of new UFO sightings in 2022. These sightings have generated great interest and debate in the scientific community and the general public. Although experts can explain approximately half of the alleged events and sightings, most of them remain an unsolved mystery, which has increased speculation and interest in the subject. The possibility of extraterrestrial life and the existence of unexplained phenomena remains a fascinating enigma for mankind, and these new sightings only fuel that fascination and raise even more questions about our place in the universe. There is a possibility that among the many reported sightings, there is an authentic one. However, it is important to keep in mind that most of us have mixed opinions on the matter. While we are still unsure whether these unidentified flying objects are related to extraterrestrials or something else, it is interesting to consider the implications this could have. Given that the government has stated its intention to take these sightings in the sky seriously, we may soon get more information about them, and the truth may be revealed. In this regard, it is fascinating to hear different perspectives and opinions on this. So, I would love to hear your opinion on this matter. Do you believe that extraterrestrials have visited our planet in the past? Please let me know your point of view in the comments below. Number 6. Impossible Egyptian statue. It seems that the wonders of ancient Egyptian civilization are not yet over, and there are still many secrets hidden beneath the sands of this region. Recently, archaeologists announced that they may have finally unveiled the secret behind the impossible Egyptian statue. This statue represents a kneeling man with a damaged face. What is interesting, however, is that on his lap is a small child that he is holding by the arms. Interestingly, this is a pharaoh. Now, you are probably wondering what is so impossible about this statue. You see, we have been studying ancient Egyptian civilization for centuries, even an entire millennium, and yet we have never seen pharaohs depicted alongside non-royalty in three-dimensional sculptures. So this curious sculpture should not have existed in the first place. Recently, archaeologists claimed that there may have been a single era in ancient Egypt when artisans had more freedom in their creations. During the time of Ramses II, a cult of statue worship encouraged them to immortalize the pharaoh. Archaeologists believe that this is one of the many creations of that time. This possibility shows Ramses II, and behind him is Ramos, a high-ranking scribe who was a community leader of the time. Although we still need more information about this discovery to conclude its origin, this is the closest explanation we have to the existence of this impossible Egyptian statue. Number 5. The mysterious monolith. In late 2020, a curious discovery was made in the remote canyons of Utah, a gleaming metal monolith. Nothing too suspicious, except for the fact that no one knew where it came from or who was responsible for leaving it there. It was about 10 feet tall, and there was no logical explanation as to why someone would decide to leave the monolith randomly in an isolated region of Utah. Now, what made this more suspicious is the fact that soon after, similar structures began to appear in different parts of the world, from Romania to California, and even as far as the United Kingdom, each monolith sharing a striking resemblance to the original. Of course, the sudden appearance of the monoliths triggered an avalanche of questions and conspiracy theories. Were they a form of modern art, a viral marketing stunt, or perhaps something more otherworldly? It's the internet. And of course, many would seize on a bizarre situation to push their conspiracies. While some were credible, others seemed to be stretching the truth. So far, there's a general consensus that the metal monoliths are actually works of art created by anonymous artists. But hey, one could argue that this is just a ruse meant to distract the public, right? Well, I'll let you be the judge. Number 4. The Nazca Aqueduct System. The Nazca Desert in southern Peru is famous for its enormous geoglyphs known as the Nazca Lines, depicting various animals, shapes, and patterns. But beneath the surface is another marvel of ancient engineering: the spiral aqueducts, also known as puquios. These puquios are a series of subway channels designed to bring fresh water from subway sources to the surface. What makes them unique is their spiral shape. At regular intervals along these channels, spiral access points were constructed. Descending into the ground, these spirals serve both as access points for maintenance and as a pathway for air to enter the system, which helps propel water through the channels. But why spirals? And why go to such lengths to build these subway channels? That's where the mystery lies. Some researchers believe the spiral design was chosen because it is more resistant to earthquakes, a common occurrence in the region. Others think the spirals may have ceremonial or religious significance. Given the importance of water in the arid desert environment, the true purpose and meaning of the puquios remains a subject of debate among historians and archaeologists. While the primary function was undoubtedly to provide water, we are still trying to unravel the exact reasons for their intricate design. Number 3. The Nebra Sky Disk. When we think of ancient civilizations, we often imagine them gazing at the stars, trying to decipher the mystery of the cosmos. Just think of the Aztecs, the Egyptians, and the Romans, to name a few. Throughout human history, it seems that early civilizations shared a common fascination with the stars and the universe, and so it is not surprising that many of them left behind intriguing artifacts made to study the stars. But perhaps the Nebra celestial disk is one of the most confusing. Discovered near the town of Nebra in Germany, this bronze disk, adorned with golden symbols, shows the creativity of our ancestors. About 30 centimeters in diameter, this celestial map is believed to be about 3,600 years old. The gold inlays on the disk represent a crescent moon, the sun, and a cluster of stars. Among these stars, researchers believe they have identified the constellation Pleiades, a group of stars visible from Earth during certain times of the year. The arrangement of these symbols suggests that the disk may have been used as a kind of astronomical clock, helping its users to follow the lunar and solar cycles. Despite the general belief that the Nebraska disk is actually an ancient star map, several people believe otherwise. Some believe that the sky disk is not authentic and is not really from the Bronze Age. After all, many consider the disk to be the oldest star map ever recovered. But if this artifact is a fake, perhaps it doesn't deserve its title. To this day, debates persist. Number 2. Ancient Chinese Gold Mask. Recently, a group of archaeologists conducted an exciting excavation at the Songxing Dui archaeological site, located in the beautiful southwestern region of China. During this fascinating exploration, the archaeologists made an amazing discovery: an incredible gold mask dating back more than 3,000 years. This impressive gold mask is undoubtedly one of the many valuable relics that have been found in the mysterious sacrificial pits found at this ancient site. The discovery of this gold mask is not only exciting, but also sheds new light on the rich history and culture of the ancient civilization that inhabited this region. It is an incredible testament to the ingenuity and artistic skill of our ancestors, and allows us to further appreciate the legacy they have left for future generations. And what was their original purpose? Their function was to ensure that the spirits of the dead remained in their bodies, which may seem somewhat macabre at first glance. These fascinating masks were used during the final era of the Shang dynasty, which came to an end in 1466 BC. While the purpose of these masks may be horrifying to imagine, their existence proves that the people of ancient China were far more creative than history initially tells us. Number 1. The knife-wielding spider god. Located at the Huaca Garrigue archaeological site in Lima, this mural dates back some 3,200 years. That makes it one of the oldest murals found in the region. However, it is what the mural depicts that is most fascinating, though also a bit creepy. The spider god, painted in white and decorated in shades of gray, ochre, and yellow, is shown holding a knife in each hand, suggesting that it may have been associated with rituals or ceremonies, possibly even sacrifices. In many ancient cultures, spiders were considered symbols of power, fertility, and weaving of destiny. The discovery of the mural sheds light on the religious practices and beliefs of the early inhabitants of the region. Most interestingly, the wall where the mural was depicted faces a river, hinting that this knife-wielding spider god had a connection to water. Perhaps it was part of rituals and ceremonies that took place during the rainy season, the time when the river was at its highest. So far, that is all we know about this fearsome deity. What a strange world we live in. Who knows what else we will discover in the near future? If you have other mind-blowing news to share, feel free to do so in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.